Hello and welcome to the Abiding Life Women's Podcast. My name is Shay Wells, and this is the first official podcast. And so for this first episode, I really wanted to just introduce myself and share my heart for why I decided to start this. And so if we have not met yet, hello and welcome. I have been married to my husband, Noah, for at the time of the recording of this, we have been married for almost 12 years. We are raising our two daughters who are 11 and 14 at the moment. And so we are in the thick of parenting a preteen and a teenager, as well as being in ministry together. My husband also he has his own podcast, the Abiding Life Studios podcast, which you may have heard me on as well. You will hear from him, I'm sure of it. We have talked about doing some marriage episodes and things like that. So I'm sure there will be crossover episodes, we will call them. And I will still be doing podcasts with him as well on the Abiding Life Studios. But I really wanted to create a space for women. And now this isn't just for women. I don't want you to shy away, but this is definitely going to be more towards women. My heart for this podcast is to give you a space to tell your story or to hear from other women and their stories of what God has done in their lives. I have a great lineup for you already, and I want to give you stories of hope and redemption and love and light and just how cool God is and the things that he does in our lives. As I was really thinking and praying about this podcast, a friend and I sat down and we were talking about Proverbs 31. And I told her that it gave me a lot of pressure, that for me specifically, I started reading all of it and I was like, this is a lot. And I already have a lot on my plate. I've got a life and family and being a wife and finding out who I am in this world. And we really started diving in. And I have my Bible right here. I'm not going to read it to you, but I have the Life Application Bible. And it's really cool because at the bottom, it really kind of dissects some scripture. And it talks about how this isn't just a description for one woman, but for us as women and all of the things that we do with Christ as the center of our lives. And what I would love to do with this podcast is to shine light on other women's stories and how cool God is and what he has done in your life. Because oftentimes in our struggles and in the hardships and even in the good, we tend to feel isolated or lonely, or maybe we're the only person who has experienced this. And so my heart is to bring you stories so that you know that you're not alone and that you can hear how amazing God is and what he does and how he works. And we will have messages and things along the way, but I really wanted to create a space for us women and to really hear each other's stories. So if you have a story that you want to tell, I would love for you to email me at Shay, SHAY, at abidinglife.com. I have another friend who isn't quite ready to tell her story, but she has such an amazing story of what God has done in her life. And so she's going to type it and send it to me. My biggest goal is to share each other's hearts here on this podcast. And if you would like to be a part of that, email it to me. We can have a conversation. I can interview you. If you have a message that you have been working on, that God has given you, I would love to hear from you as well. So if you would like to be on this podcast, please email me. I'm very excited about this. I hope that it brings you hope and love and light, and that it points you to just how cool Jesus is and how he is right there with you right now in this moment. And he loves you so, so much. I'll talk to you soon.